Hello everybody, it's Crystal. Welcome to my channel, Bagoday Crochet. So today I have a crochet tutorial for you, and it's very easy. Extremely easy to do. So this is a herringbone, double crochet herringbone stitch shawl. And as you can see, it does have a, the top of it is V-ed. You can see from the pictures there. So it kind of hangs on your shoulders a bit better than if it was straight across. So you can see that you can use any yarn you want, but you can see the yarn that I use has some pretty sparkles, and brown is my favorite color. So it is a beautiful brown, variegated, and it does have fringe, which is something that you do not have to add if you don't want. But this is a very easy piece to do. The only stitch that you're going to need to know how to do is the double crochet, regular double crochet, and the double crochet herringbone. And if you don't know how to do that, well, by gosh, I'll show you, because it is extremely easy to do. Just as easy as a double crochet. And it does look the same on both sides. All right. So this piece right here, from point down to the V and back up to the other top of the V there, measures approximately 72 inches. And then it has about 5 inches of... I'm sorry, 72 inches, yeah. And then about 5 inches of fringe is what on each side. So here and on the other side. And then from the dip here of the V down to the point, measures about 32 inches. And it does, again, have about 5 inches of fringe all the way around. Now you see that is me in the pictures, and I am 5'3", so you can see the length of it there on me and how it looks, so you can adjust yours accordingly. You can make this as big as you want or as small as you want. You can make it in any yarn that you choose, but let me go ahead and talk about the yarn that was used for this. Okay, for that particular shawl that you've seen there, I used some hand-dyed yarn from my friend Dawn Aaron from Dawn Aaron Loving Creations. She is a very talented yarn dyer and lots of other things as well. And she does have a YouTube channel if you'd like to check her out. The color that I am using is called a Brown-Eyed Crystal. It is a 71% superwash merino, 24% nylon, and 5% metallic. And it is a 2-weight yarn. And there's 410 yards per hank, and it took about 4.5 hanks. So you're going to need about, if you use a 2-weight, and you want to add, that's including the fringe, it'll be about 1,800 yards of a 2-weight if you want to use the fringe. Now, if you want to use this yarn, I will put a link to Dawn Aaron's channel below, and you can get in contact with her. I'm certain that she will dye this for you. If not, you can use any yarn you want in any weight you want. You can use a 1-weight, 2-weight, 3-weight, 4-weight. It does not matter. Just make sure that you adjust the hook size accordingly. For this particular for the 2-weight here, I used a G, which is a 4.25 millimeter, and sometimes G's are 4 millimeters. But that is what was used for the 2-weight yarn. Now, if you want to use a different yarn, I would probably recommend going either using probably a half size bigger or a full size bigger than what the label states. So if you want to, you know, whatever you want to do is fine. And I'm going to be showing you, it's super easy, but I'm going to be showing you with a different yarn, one that's not as dark and one that's a little bit thicker, so you can see the stitches a little bit better on how to do that herringbone. All right, let me find an appropriate hook here for this one. Okay. All right, so I'm just using some scrap yarn here. So this is how it's done. Are you ready? This particular shawl, like I said, has that V there at the top. Now that is just formed on its own as you go down. So the shawl is worked from the top down. All right, let's begin. So we're going to start off with a slip knot on our hook. And we are going to work a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. and we're going to slip stitch into our first stitch to form a ring. If you want to use the magic circle here, that would be fine. I'm not going to do that, so I chain 3 and I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch, and that's going to form my ring, and I'm going to work through my ring. All right. So this is just a 1 row repeat. All right. After we get past the first row, the rest of it is just a 1 row repeat. So we are going to chain 1, just like that. And through this, it does not count as a stitch. Through the center of this ring, we are going to work 3 double crochets. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to put our hook through that ring that we just made. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it back through the ring like that. And then we're going to do a double crochet, just like normal. So there's our first double crochet. And we're going to do that again. We're going to yarn over, go through the ring like that, grab our yarn, pull it back up like that, and then do another double crochet just like normal. There's 2 double crochets. Again, we're going to yarn over, go through the ring, grab our yarn, draw up, back through the ring, and do our double crochet. So there we have 3 double crochets there, because remember that chain 1 does not count. Now we're going to work a chain of 2. Now that chain of 2 is the point of the shawl. Now we're going to go back through the center of the ring and we're going to work 3 more double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, go through, draw up a loop, and there's 1 double, there's 2 doubles, and there's 3 doubles. And then you can go ahead and pull that tail, close up that center circle, and now you should have a total of 6 double crochets with a chain 2 space right there. So that ends row 1. All right, now row 2 is actually the repeat row for the whole shawl. All right, it's super easy. All right, so we're always going to start off the same. We're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we're going to turn our work. In the very first stitch, we are going to work 1 regular double crochet. Now also into that very first stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochet herringbone stitches. Now I'm going to show you how those are done. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go back into that same stitch, and we're going to draw up a loop, and you see that you have 3 loops on your hook. Don't yarn over or anything. Pull this first loop through the second loop, just like that. Now you're going to yarn over and go through 1 loop on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and go through the remaining 2 loops. And that is how you do a double crochet herringbone. And now we're going to need to put 1 more into that same stitch. All right, so again, we're going to yarn over, go into your stitch, and draw up a loop, and you got 3 loops. Don't yarn over anything, just take that first loop right there and pull it through the second loop on your hook like that. And then we're going to yarn over and we're going to go through the first loop, 1 loop on our hook, and then we're going to yarn over and go through the remaining 2. There it is. That's the double crochet herringbone. So that's what the first stitch will always be: 1 regular double crochet and then 2 double crochet herringbones, all into that very first stitch. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet herringbone into every stitch until we get to our chain 2 space. In every row we'll add more stitches. So we're going to go to the next stitch and we're going to put 1 double crochet herringbone into it. So we're going to yarn over, go into the stitch, and draw up a loop. 3 loops, don't yarn over, just directly pull that first loop through the second loop like that. Now we're going to yarn over and go through that 1 loop, first loop on our hook, and yarn over and go through the remaining 2. There's your double crochet herringbone. Now we're going to go into the next stitch and work another double crochet herringbone. Yarn over, go into the stitch, drop a loop, pull the first loop directly through the second loop like that, and we're going to yarn over and go through that first loop on our hook, and yarn over and go through the remaining 2, just like that. Now you would keep doing that, 1 double crochet herringbone, until you get to your chain 2 space. Now the chain 2 space is always worked the same as well. We're going to work into the chain 2 space, and we're going to work 2 double crochet herringbones, a chain 2, and then 2 more double crochet herringbones, all into the chain space. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to work 2 double crochet herringbones. So remember, we don't yarn over the first time. We just pull directly through that first loop like that. And then we yarn over and go through 1, and yarn over and go through the remaining 2. That's 1 herringbone. Again. And there's 2 herringbones. So we got 2 herringbones in that chain 2 space. You could slide them over if you need to. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to go back in and work 2 more double crochet herringbones into that same spot. Just like that. Now we need to make this side match this side, so we do a double crochet herringbone into every stitch until we get to our last stitch. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and work a double crochet herringbone into every stitch until we get to our last stitch. Okay, now the last stitch, it's always worked the same as well. It's similar to the first, but we work it backwards. So we work 2 double crochet herringbones, and then we work 1 regular double crochet. All right, so we'll start off by putting into the very last stitch 2 double crochet herringbones. So there's 1. Back into that same last stitch, another one. There's 2. And 1 last stitch. It's just a regular double crochet into that last stitch. And that ends row 2, and that is the repeat row. So you'll have 8 more stitches than you did the previous row. You will always have 8 more stitches than you did the previous row. So we have now 3, 4, 5. We have 14 stitches now. The last row we had 8. Or we had 6, I'm sorry. So we added 8 more for a total of 14. So now we're just going to keep repeating row 2 until we get it the size that we want it to be. However big you want it to be. It is completely up to you. It's your shawl. You can even make it a small cowl or a shawlette, whatever you'd like. But again, we're just going, I'll show you again. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Remember, I'm just repeating row 2. And every row starts the same. We put 1 regular double crochet into the first stitch, and also into that first stitch we're going to put 2 double crochet herringbone stitches. just like that. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet herringbone into every stitch until we get to the chain 2 space. Okay, and remember the chain 2 space is always the same as well. It gets 2 herringbones, chain 2, and 2 herringbones into the chain 2 space. Chain 2. And go back in. You can slide them over if you need to and work 2 more into that space. Just like that. And then we will work 1 double crochet herringbone into every stitch until we get to the last stitch. And the last stitch, remember, it's always worked the same as well. Oh, my yarn split. Sorry about that. Try that one again. All right. The last stitch is 2 herringbones into the last stitch. There's 1. And 2, and then 1 regular double crochet here at the end. And you just 8 more, I'll have 8 more stitches than I did the previous row. And you just continue repeating that and repeating that until you get it as big as you want it to be. Now, I will mention, if you do not like that V dip, let me move this out of the way for a second. If you do not like the dip in the shawl being quite so sharp, having the V-dip, you can eliminate that if you would like, and I'll tell you how. If you would like to eliminate it and make it more straight across, it's very easy to do. When you start the row and finish the row, only do when you start the row, do 1 double crochet and just 1 herringbone instead of 2. All right. And when you end, just do 1 herringbone instead of 2 and then a double crochet. So you would just have 2 stitches in the first and last stitch instead of 3. And then your piece would increase only by 6 stitches every round. And that would decrease this V and make it more straight across. That's always an option that you could do if that's what you prefer. It's your shawl. You do it however you want. I'm just giving you an option if you'd like to change it. But you do that for however many rows you'd like. This piece has a total of 52 rows. That's how many this one has. And then the fringe is added on it as well, which I can show you how to do that real quick. All right, fringe is very easy to add. I just took a couple pieces off to show you. So fringe, for this particular one, was added, there was 3 single crochets left in between each of the fringe pieces. And there's about 10 pieces of yarn here, and they are about 10 inches long. Now you can do yours as long or as short as you'd like. your fringe, and you can make it as thick as you'd like. You can do 20 pieces of yarn, or you can do 3 pieces of yarn. You don't even have to put fringe on it. You can leave it plain. You could add tassels, you could add picots, you could add shells. The sky's the limit. Whatever you choose. But for the fringe, you get your pieces together like this, and then you take a hook, and from the underside, because this would be the front side of my work, from the underside you go, take your hook from the underside of the stitch that you want to go into, and you pull it through like this, but don't pull all the way through, okay? Drop that and put your fingers there in between that loop. And then what you want to do is take these ends here and get them kind of as equal as possible. And then you just pull them through a loop and then pull it tight. And that is how you add the fringe. And then at the end, if you want to trim it up, you can. That's fine. I can show you again here. So you take your pieces, however many you wanted to do and however long you wanted to do them, and you put them together. And I always take a hook, and I have the front side of my work facing me, but both sides look the same. But make sure when you're putting fringe on that you keep it consistently on the same side. Go into from the underneath into the stitch that you want to put your fringe into, and grab all those loops there and pull them through like that, but don't pull them all the way through. And take that hook out and grab them with your fingers like that. Make sure they're all like looped around your fingers, see that? And then get your fringe kind of equal down here the best as you can. And once you feel that it's pretty good, you just take them and I always just grab them and pull them right through just like that. And that is how the fringe is added. That is if you want to do it. That's completely up to you. But look how easy that shawl is. And it's such, I love the herringbone pattern. It's it's in my top 10 favorite stitches. If you look closely, you can see the pattern that it starts to take a zigzag appearance. It's really, really beautiful. And my camera, the lighting in here is not very good for this. Like I said, it does have the same appearance on both sides. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I love to see yours. You can change colors too. I mean, you can make it all different colors. Different rows, different colors. But yeah, I'd love to see yours, whether you make it with a sharp V like mine, or you make it more straight across, or add fringe, throw down fringe, whatever yarn you use. Show me a picture on my Facebook page. I'd love to see it. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and maybe leave a comment below, or just like an emoji, or say hi or something, just to feed that algorithm. So maybe YouTube will suggest my tutorial to other people who may not know it exists, and maybe they would like to make it too. So until next time, I'll see you guys on my next video. Take care. Bye guys.